There's a lot of videos out there showing the excitement of the National. A lot of great vintage cards to see, uh, big time YouTube channels interviewing people, showing their pickups. I mean, and you can just feel the excitement. But when you're at home watching from afar, it's just not the same. So, what do you do when you are not at the National, but you kind of want to be excited about cards? Well, you know what you do? You look at your own collection. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Cardboard Coach Neil, and yeah, there's a lot of great videos coming out, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more with the For Collectors Trade Night. That's one thing I wish I was attending, just mostly to meet a lot of those guys, guys that we watch, and just be cool to meet them in person, maybe one day. But I've been to about, I think, 6 nationals, and always a good time. It's always, what was great about it was just going with other collectors and meeting up with guys that I've known from various message boards, and have gotten to become friends with a bunch of these guys for the past 20 or so odd years. Some of them are actually pretty good friends. See them often, talk to them even more. But yeah, it's great to be watching some of this national footage. A little bit jealous, I'm not going to lie, because what is better, I mean, than looking at cards for collectors? It's like cards are kind of like a cake, the cake, but the icing is, enjoying the show and, talking to your buddies about pickups they've made, trying to maybe convince them or assist them in making purchases. I love spending other people's money, that's for sure, and do a pretty decent job of just that. I can talk a lot of people into buying cards. It's not that difficult. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. Looking forward to seeing a lot more. But as I'm watching this, you start thinking about cards, and there's auctions galore right now. Besides eBay and besides Facebook, I know people are selling a lot of things on Facebook. I think, gearing up for a national that they're already at, or for the auctions that are in place right now. Besides eBay, which is always an auction, 24/7. You got Love of the Game, who has some great stuff. Al Crisafulli, very, very knowledgeable, fantastic write-ups that he has in his auction. Sterling, Lee Barons is a great guy. I've known Lee for a number of years, have consigned a number of items with him. Sterling Sports Auctions is a real nice little auction house for everyday and average card collectors. No pun intended for Jason and Jay out there. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's some good stuff. Sterling Sports Auctions, I would check them out. Love of the Game, most of you guys already know. But Lee Barons at Sterling does a great job. And of course, there's REA. There's something about an REA auction that is just fantastic. And I have known Brian for 25 years. And, ever since he was, actually, I think he was a high school senior when I first met him. Knew him all through college, and afterwards. And he has done a tremendous, tremendous job in building up the Robert Edwards brand. So, but there's just so many things to choose from. So, you kind of got to call time out, on yourself, because there's a lot of different avenues to go down. And it reminds me of something, a very long time collector who I talked with often. He's come up with a number of phrases, none of them are trademarked, but, he was the first to talk, hey, collect what you like, you buy what you can afford. And that's something I've adopted over the years and trying my best to abide by those rules. But another thing he would say would be just enjoy what you have. And look, we all have collections that we are building, collections that we are proud of. And, it's important to every now and then just take a breather and just enjoy what you have, whether it's making a video or just kind of sitting down and just pulling out a couple random cards to enjoy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a recent pickup and just two cards I haven't shown that are just really, really good. So I'm not at the National, obviously. I knew I was not going to be at the National. And I'm mostly a guy that collects, some unique stuff, not overly expensive. I mean, I will buy some things, again, expense, that's something that is very, very subjective. $50 might be a huge number for some collectors. It might be a number that other collectors don't even really entertain. But a lot of my purchases are, kind of, I don't know, they're all over the place. But every now and then I will buy a card that to me is a big time card, and that's what I just did. I got this in about 2 weeks ago, and it's a 1954 Red Heart Mickey Mantle, and this is my favorite card of Mickey. It's just such a great card. Don't get me wrong, I would love to own the 54 tops. But that's a card, maybe if I win the lottery. Actually, if I did win the lottery, that would probably be the first thing I would do. Is I would reach out to Levi or Ash. Find me a good one. Looking for something centered. I don't really care about number grade. I want something centered. I want something color. And I want the surface to be clean, but dare I dream, it's something we do sometimes. But yeah, this was my big purchase of the year. I mean, I've made a lot of smaller purchases. But to me, this is a big card, and every now and then I just like to buy something that's a little bit big like this. But that's I just like the color of this thing. But just wanted to show that to you. I put it on a short, but I just felt like making a video because I'm seeing all this stuff on YouTube. The other thing, just a couple random cards. I picked out some oversized stuff. For no other reason, just because they were right there. These are the 1950 pinups. That's Gil Hodges. Wanted to see if there's anything else on that. But yeah, this is just, it's the 1950. As you can see, these have hole punches in them. They were in a book, which from what I understand it's really tough to find. I've seen these before. This is uncut. There's like a little, it's the circle you can see. You can kind of punch that out. And on the back, there are just some tips. Just really cool back. These were sold in a book. There's oh geez, you know what? I knew this coming down. I kind of forget how many. I want to say 10. Just tremendous players involved. Most of them are Hall of Famers. All of them at some point, were all-stars, had really, really nice careers. The Ted Williams and the Musial, in my opinion, are the best-looking ones. I think Aaron has one or both of those. He might even have the whole set. I'm not sure, but that's Gil Hodges, and that's just a nice image. This is an image of Gil Hodges that seems to be used a little bit. I'm going to have to look, but there might be some nuance to some of the other cards, but it just reminds me of some of the Bowman issues that he may have. I'm going to have to look at that. And then this is an example. I've seen this photograph, but I haven't seen it on any Jackie Robinson cards. But it's Jackie Robinson, and just, Jackie has some interesting cards, and I don't own. I think I have 4 Jackie Robinson items. I'll have to double check, and this is obviously one of them. But this is it's just cool. It's just stuff like this. These are the only 2 I have. These are more of a hitting type tip. Actually, no, excuse me, fielding, and maybe it's both. Well, tips on playing second base. It's just, again, I just kind of pulled these things out randomly, but just an excuse to make a video. But anyone who's watching out there, if you're not at the National, go down and enjoy your collection. Take a look at it. Look at the auctions. There's some good stuff out there in Sterling, Love of the Game, and in REA, and among others. There are probably a number of others. I think CIA, but there's just so many right now. There's just so many at this time all around the National. This is a hot time of the year for collectors like ourselves. So if you're not there, you can find something to do. And something that's very inexpensive, it's going to cost you $0, is just looking and enjoying your own thing, your own collection. And for those of you who, I doubt if you're there, you're going to watch my channel tonight or during the time you're there. But if you do, happy hunting to everyone who's out there. I hope you guys find that card that you've been looking for, or the card that kind of presents itself to you, and that's the reason you go. Because, we all, for those who have been to Nationals, we have a tendency to buy something, right? And those are cards you do remember. Hey, I bought this at the National in Cleveland, or I bought this at the National in Atlantic City or Baltimore, or whatever it was. And you kind of remember, these little details. But that's just the good thing about collecting, especially if you're doing with your pals. So that's all I got for now. You guys take care.